Very well. So now it's recorded. So teaching business English, it's not strictly teaching, as I said, English in a corporate environment. So this is the outline that you have, right, of your TBE in your Canvas. So you can see that we can deal with writing in literature, in science, technology, social sciences, professional writing. So for those who want to, work in newspapers and editorials, and statements of purpose. When people they have to make those immigration processes, and you have to make like a statement. So the personal statement. So that's writing. That's business writing. So it's writing in other disciplines. Certainly, the language that we use to discuss science is a different language than we discuss history. Even the structure, the way that you organize the words in a sentence. Because history is a subject that is detailing. Science is a precise subject. You're reporting data sometimes. So the way that you deal with the information is different. So when we talk about discipline, it's an academic discipline, right? And it is also, you can call it as field or area of study. In higher education, most students choose a discipline to pursue in their studies. So for example, if you're in science, you can choose biology. There are so many areas you don't have. Biology is the big field, and then you break it down. So of course that some disciplines, they're more commonly known than others. And with the change that we have nowadays of new professions and coming up, suddenly it has expanded much more. In the past, we had those, basics, science, history, literature. Now, no, we have, for instance, if you take in the area of marketing, you have the audio, the visual, areas that were really, so restricted to those working in TV. Nowadays, you have so many people dealing with this audiovisual components that it's become a field. So, and that's we have to learn all of this. So teaching business English, it's not only teaching English, it's also learning about the discipline. So most universities and college, they allow their students to pursue mathematics, biology, economics, history, and within the discipline, there are also the sub-disciplines. So if you take history, you can study world history, you can study American history, you can study European history. So it's all a breakdown. So I brought a little activity that I would like you guys to work on, and it goes like this. Based on the text, you're going to read the text. There are 3 different texts from 3 different fields. I'd like you to try to identify key words, key expressions that allows you to identify the field. So is it like mathematics? Is it like sociology? So we're going to work. This is the first reading. So take your time and try to analyze. Remember that vocabulary in this type of field, it is essential. Teaching business English. So I'll give you a few minutes. Read, try to identify keywords, and tell me what would be the big field here.
It's kind of history, I guess. I don't know what it is, but flag and everything, a massacre, it can be a battle, a famous battle, so it can be history.
Do you agree, Eileen?
I just reading.
Don't worry.
Because I need to translate now.
Don't worry. We're here.
Mhm.
Ida, if you could make a little list of those keywords that make you believe that this is history, that would be nice.
Isn't it American, what's that, inside America? What's the name of that? I don't know. massacre, I guess the flagged ones and surviving and federals running for their lives. So it's a battle.
You go. That's it. So when he says in his own official report, right, no man of the massacre. So there are important keywords here that show us that this would be like a history. What do you think, Fatima? Do you also think it's history, or
Same
can it
here.
be
Yeah, I think it's
anthropology,
history.
sociology?
Because here said that Union forces or flag or, for example, federals. I just noticed these words and I believe that it can be history.
And that's it. So even if you don't understand exactly what is the specific, battle, you can't name the battle, but you can identify the differences and so there are like some quotations here. Forrest makes no mention. This is very typical when we use quotations of history. Okay, and there's your federals running for their lives. This comes from history. It's like a narration of an event that happened in the battle. So definitely, you guys are right on. Okay, let's go to the next.
Maybe literature. I believe it's literature.
Poem, the first one, word. I didn't continue the other. Yeah, to escape from the hardships of this world. Definitely art, poetry,
Yeah, poet, multiple meanings,
literature.
literacy devices.
There you go, literary, right? That's another key here. So poems, literary. Any other words that you feel?
What's that? Byzantium? Byzantium? The capital word? Start with capital
Which
B.
line?
Byzan. B-Y-Z-A. Byzantium?
Maybe it's the name of a city.
Byzantium.
Is
So
it
that's kind of like from the Catholic. So in the Catholic Church, there are some divisions, and Byzantium is one of them. It's I know very little, but the research that I did, it's kind of like it's
Yeah.
a branch, if we could say that.
I got that. Thank you.
Okay, so here we can already also tell that we're dealing with. So it's the vocabulary that was used, right? We have here about literature, literary devices, themes, poem. So some keywords. Once again, you may have never read Butler Yeats, but you know that this is. Okay, here we have one more.
Health.
Okay, health.
I think it's talking about some like cognitive things. So,
But
No.
it has a pneumotaxic center. So I just got this word and it's related to health, I guess, isn't it?
it's kind of scientific text, but I'm not sure if it's psychology or science.
But it's some receptor.
We have here the receptor, right?
Talking about memory.
Vaguely induced is abolished by lesioning the pneumatic center.
Stimulation response.
Yeah. So something in the health area. Would you say that it is more like related to an area of health that is more neurological, psychiatric, or is it the regular health care?
Psychological, I think.
Yeah, it's
Right.
kind of more specific things, not the general health.
Yeah.
So it is from medicine, and we can see this is very common, these multisyllabic nouns that they come like as if you were building a word, right? So you have this sensation. So the D, the prefix, and then there's a suffix. So when you build these words, right? And then you have verbs in the simple present of the verb to be. That means it's very factual. That's another characteristic of, and you can also see here the use of the passives, because someone is reporting what was done, what was developed. That also is very common in medicine. Okay, so once again, although there may be some differences in writing expectations between disciplines, one thing is for sure. When we're dealing with academic writing, regardless the field, there is a structure to follow, an introduction, developing and preparing and discussing the theory, then results, and then the conclusion. So regardless the area of the field, English teachers, it is expected that we know this big structure, introduction, theory, methodology, discussing results, and conclusion. To teach in any field, for instance, if we teach English as a foreign language, so the grammar has to be used regardless what is the field. So that's why teaching business English is quite tricky when you have to teach English, like I said, to medical students, to law students, to science students. So here are some important points that I would like to work on with you guys. In order to be a teacher of this field, there are some steps that we need to follow. So first of all, determine what you need. So what do you need to learn in the specific field of vocabulary to be able to teach your students how to deal with this field? Do you need to learn all the words? What do you need to learn? So you need to read the texts that you're going to deal with, highlight, and take notes. You really have to take notes of the specific vocabulary so that you can discuss with the student in a way that when you're going to write a sentence or write an example, you will include the vocabulary that they need to use. How can you do this? Well, the first step as teachers, preparing a class, we're going to read the first paragraph in order to identify the main idea of that paragraph. And you will realize that in a reading passage, there is a structure that is very common. The first paragraph is the introductory paragraph. So in the introductory paragraph, they introduce the main topic. Each paragraph that follows will unfold and develop one main idea that connects back to the main topic. So you can expect, let's suppose we're talking about education in elementary school and the testing in elementary school. So first of all, they're going to introduce the concept of testing, of exams, the importance of exams. And then the next paragraph, for example, it's going to discuss the types of exams that can be applied. And then the other paragraph is going to discuss the standardized exams that are applied. In another paragraph, they're going to test students. So, but it's all going to go back to testing in childhood education. Okay, so that's how we develop and you learn. You will read, understand how the text is organized, because that's what you're going to teach your students then. Okay, so here's the introductory paragraph, the main topic, and each paragraph that follows will unfold and develop one main idea that is related to the main topic. Always be sure to, when you're starting in a new area in particular, be sure that you're able to do the assignment that you're asking your student to do. And as a parameter for timing, you, the teacher, you always have to consider that the student will take double the time. If you took 1 hour to do your task, the student needs 2 hours. Okay, so that is the parameter that usually we apply when preparing tests. Once again, always do the task before you assign it as an assignment or before you use your question in a test. We can only see any kind of, inaccuracy once we try to respond. Find any other important ideas in the reading. Then we go, repeated words and phrases. Why is this important? Because it goes like this. Like I said, a text is organized in paragraphs. As you read and you see repeated words, normally 99% of the time, every time that the repeated word shows, it's because a concept will be built around it. Let's suppose we're talking about music education. So the first one is going to be the benefits of music education in cognitive skills. Then the next one is going to be the benefits of education in discipline, organization. So each paragraph is good, but you will see the word music education, musical program. You can even find synonyms. And each time the keywords show, a concept will be built around it. New information will be given. So always also find repeated keywords, phrases, or themes. And this is something that you can use once you identify this for a pre-activity, preparing flashcards or images to prepare your students for the task that's upcoming. Now, continue with the remaining rest of the reading. Oh, only the rest of the reading, not the remaining, forgive me. That means always read from top to bottom any passage that you're going to teach. Be sure that you have gone through the vocabulary, because it's not expected that we are like, walking dictionaries, but it is expected that the task that we're dealing with, we know about it. So that's why teaching business English it's quite time consuming, because we are English teachers, but we have to learn several fields in terms of vocabulary, collocations, specific phrasal verbs. So for example, there's a new phrasal verb that's quite interesting that I came across. Key in your password. Why not type in? Because nowadays we use a keyboard. So the most appropriate way to say is key in your password. And you need to put in, key in. It's like fill in, right? So these are things they are coming up according to the new fields that are expand to the fields, not only new fields, but also fields that are expanding. So,
Excuse me.
yeah.
In business classes, in teaching business classes, do we ever teach them, grammar directly or never?
No, we do, because they need to, principally if they're in a field of specialty like law, medicine, or anything like marketing, it is expected that the writing that they do, it is clear, objective. That means that they need to know verb tense usage when they want to make a statement, simple present. When they want to refer to something that has been concluded, simple past. They need to know these elements of writing.
Is it just in writing?
No, in speaking too. Yeah, you're going to use this many times for a presentation, right? But
Yeah.
the grammar is essential. Most of the time you're going to see, for example, I used to teach a biology group at the university. They knew all the words of their specialty because they've read so many times. They knew exactly the words. So I really didn't have to teach them the specific vocabulary, but how to build sentences with that vocabulary. So that was the main task. And that's very common to happen. The students are very familiar and knowledgeable about the specific area, but they're not prepared always to make coherent and well-structured sentences. Because another detail is that they can't write simple sentences. So they need to elaborate a little bit more. They need to bring in complex structures, or else their text is going to be all fragmented with small sentences. They need to learn how to use conjunctions, connectors, markers. And once again, regardless the field, this is something that you will teach.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Okay? So teaching business English, speaking skills now. So negotiating, for example. And it's not only in corporate. So many fields negotiate, right? Nowadays, in technology, you have to negotiate deadlines, you making presentations. Once again, technology is a field that I always like to use as an example, because in the past, we used to say, oh, the IT guy, right? You know, the information technology, we do, oh, call the IT or call the computer guy, right? That's what we would say. Just call the computer guy. But look how interesting nowadays, whenever a company is going to make any type of change or implement new, services, it's through technology. So in the past, the computer guy was there in his room just trying to fix. Nowadays, he's part of decision-making process, because he's the one who's going to point out which application is the most recommended, which application will be able to fulfill the demands of the company. So times are changing, and so are the way that professions are acting and professionals are acting. Socializing. When you start a meeting, you just don't jump in. At least there's a hi, how are you? It's nice to see you here. Thank you for coming, something like that. So the conducting and participating in meetings, making telephone calls, teaching business writing skills and writing correspondence. So when it comes to teaching writing skills, it's what we just mentioned. It's the grammar of conjunctions, connectors, pronoun use, and then writing correspondence. Nowadays, it's basically emails. We don't write letters anymore. Memos, reports. So these are the types of correspondence that we deal with. Now, I always try to bring in an activity to do with my students before I get started in a specific area, for them to understand the distinction of what is a field and that they're going to be dealing with the field. So I start with fiction reading. So why read fiction? Can you tell me why we should read fiction?
To enjoy.
Joy, wonderful. Why else?
To experience the things we have never experienced. We have never experienced that before.
They may have never experienced that, neither in their mother, not even in their mother tongue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And
sorry, I didn't get the relation between the business English and the fiction. Sorry, maybe I got confused a little
I
bit.
always bring in a fiction article for the first class,
Oh,
because I want to show the students that reading, regardless the field, they will read. And fiction is usually the main genre that very few have read. They may have read romance and this, but fiction, not really. You know what I mean?
oh, okay.
And it's also to teach them to be more curious and to be more observant when they're reading. Because once again, regardless the field, when they are reading, they have to identify key information. Remember that they're reading articles that it's not their mother tongue. So it's in a special field with specific vocabulary and specific structure. Now, in today's busy world, many people feel that reading fiction is a waste of time, and that following the news or nonfiction are more valuable pursuits. But that's not really true. Once again, remember that we want them to understand that regardless the field, they're able to read and understand what they're reading. They may not be specialists, but they can get it done. As they progress, they will be more, because sometimes we start teaching English, they're in the first year of university. They don't even know a lot, and they're already seeing English articles with topics that they haven't learned yet in university. That happens frequently. Usually English or what they call English in business English, it's in the first, second year. It's right at the beginning. Why? Because they need English in order to read the articles that they will have throughout their course. So be it in science, in economics, or history. So we're dealing with a student that may not know yet all the jargons, and may not know all the vocabulary, and may not even know English structure very well. So this is kind of like an activity to show them that you don't need to be a specialist in order to read and identify key points, different words. So the following article explains the benefits of reading fiction. If you don't understand some of the vocabulary, make a note of the words and look them up after you read. And think about the ideas. And then I was going to do this a forum, but I'm going to open up the discussion here. Here we go. So this is the first page that I would like you to read carefully because we're going to open up a little discussion here. Okay, so the introduction paragraph, are you able to identify the main topic?
Neurology. And it's not just one field, I guess it's a mix, the benefits of reading, maybe I can say something like that. How
Or
to
the effects of reading fiction
Yeah.
on the brain.
Yeah, so it's not just for, it's not wasting time, it has some benefits.
But
I
the big
agree. Actually, I
topic
work
is
in a
that, right?
library. Yeah.
We don't know if it's benefits even. We know that there are effects, right?
Yeah, sure. But it's
So
benefits, definitely.
yeah, we still don't know if it's beneficial or not.
Correct.
We suppose because there is new support for the value of fiction. So there are some words here that guide us. So before we decide if it's a benefit or not, maybe the effects on the brain of reading science fiction. Would that be more, a better representation? Now, the next paragraph, brain scans. So as we said, the main topic is the effects of reading science fiction on the brain. The next one is going to develop the idea of brain scans and how the brain scans can help support the hypothesis, right, that is presented here. So brain scans show what happens when you read a detailed description, a metaphor, an emotional discussion between characters, stories. This research shows, so now we know it's not even a hypothesis, it's a research result. And once again, it's all about the brain and the brain scan as the intermediate to bring these results. Okay, now this is another paragraph. Here we go. Okay. So what is the main idea that's being developed here?
Involved,
Connection.
already involved understanding for written words. First line, two lines.
So like I said, the main it's effects on the brain when reading
It's
science fiction.
it's yellow. We cannot.
Ah, oh dear, no, this is bad. Let me,
Yeah.
there
Better.
we go. Oh. Now, so that was, why doesn't it change? Look at
Likes
this.
to be yellow.
Yeah, it likes to be yellow. Dear Lord. It doesn't change.
We've already.
Maybe another color. Maybe green.
Maybe red.
Maybe red. Yeah, it doesn't want to change. The next one, I'll try to make it red. Then paragraph 1, it deals with, so when we talk about paragraph 1, what is it dealing with? The brain scans. So the brain scans. And why do they use the brain scans? To illustrate how the brain functions when reading science fiction, right? So it illustrates how the brain functions when reading fiction. And what about the third paragraph? What do we have here?
I didn't get that paragraph here. This paragraph or the last paragraphs? I didn't.
Now, this one now, because the first one is the introduction paragraph, effects,
The last one.
then paragraph 1, and now paragraph 2.
Can we see that again? I don't remember.
So what is the focus? What is the main idea of this paragraph?
Talking about what is actually that effect.
How the brain, right? So it's how the brain understands words in the sense of interpretation, right? So how the brain interprets words. In particular, now we're talking about written words, not oral words, right? So, and associations made. And how it's associated, right? So they associate the words with the brain where we process smell, so the connections. So it's only associations. We're not going to go, but it interprets written words. So how the brain interprets written words and associations made between words and understanding. So once again, if you're not able to find and to make summaries before you assign, what do we have to do here maybe to help our student identify? Teach them to focus on the topic sentence. So what is the topic sentence? Researchers have known for many decades that there are certain parts of the brain involved in our understanding of written words. So that's the paragraph then will explain how this understanding happens. It's connected to sense and to words of feeling. So that's how we deal with teaching business English. First, we, the teachers, we become familiar and knowledgeable about the vocabulary because the other parts of language, we know how, where to put a comma, where to, use a subject verb agreement when we use a simple present. But They're not aware of that yet. So we have to deal with them, making them feel familiar with vocabulary and then with understanding and interpreting the information. We start by the topic sentence. Then we start to show them how markers are used. So here, for example, however, what is the function of however? When? So but, because every time you have either a marker or a conjunction, ideas are being either revealed or connected. When you have a conjunction, it's connecting ideas, and the conjunction will show the relation between the ideas that you are connecting. If it's a marker, like a signal word, however, for instance, it's a signal word, it is to alert the reader to a concession. When, it's to alert the reader in time frame. So each conjunction and or marker, they have a function for interpretation. And that's something we have to teach. Now there's one more here. I'd like you to read this and try to tell me, what is the main idea developed in this paragraph? Go until the end just to be sure that you don't miss out on anything. Okay.
It wants to talk about the effect of those words with some smell or with a strong smell. How does it affect the brain?
So it supports the last paragraph. With an example, maybe the connection between brain activity and, reading.
So now they're talking about a specific study with a specific date, right? There's a big storm going on here. Can you hear it?
Yeah, your voice is
Yeah, I
different.
know. It's a big storm. It's tropical rainstorms here.
Yeah, in the middle
Okay.
of summer, yeah, now.
So there's a specific study with a specific group. It's unable to identify a conclusion here or a result. So for instance, we have that 2006, a group of researchers in Spain. So that's not really, we just know now that it's a very specific, like a focus group. So the brains, they were scanned, and now they add the information, right? Functional magnetic resonance. They talk about the machine. And what could they identify when using this machine?
The brain shows, some active, some, I don't know, some reaction when they read some
Brain
words which are related.
Brain reactions, right?
Yeah.
So in a specific study, using a functional magnetic resonance imaging to do the brain scans, it was possible to identify the reactions of the brain when vocabulary was mentioned, when specific group of words were mentioned. There we go. So remember that when we're dealing with this type of content, really important that we're able to work in a way that, once again, so while, what does while show us? When we see while, it's a,
Sorry
it's a
for the
conjunction that shows the
recent.
concept of duration. And
Excuse
so
me.
that's the duration. Along with it's another marker. When subjects look. Okay, so then you have the word when. Once again, a time frame. So whenever we're dealing with this type of task, teaching business English in specific fields, it's all associated to the specific vocabulary and to language, grammar, and sentence structure. So regardless what you're teaching, sentence structure and grammar will be used. So if we take, for example, they, the pronoun they, if they don't understand what the pronoun they refers to, they will misinterpret information. What does the pronoun they refer to?
The people who are reading.
To who?
Participant.
Sorry, is it
think
my
she's-
connection or it's hers? Because I'm
it's
facing
hers.
some,
You know,
yeah.
she's Fatima, she's in Brazil.
Oh, okay. Because
And
I
it's-
noticed
yeah.
the last few
Yeah, yeah.
minutes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
I
have
couldn't.
the same
No, it's not
quality.
your. Yeah, we couldn't. I think we had the same.
I was going to leave and rejoin. Then
No, 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 no.
suddenly she like,
No, she said it's a kind of storm.
oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's middle of summer now in Brazil.
oh.
Yeah, and I remember
Actually,
another session, they had a storm and the door was, shutting down, and so she could leave. Yeah, yes. So she has some problems.
Storm? Oh.
Yeah. I think your connection is poor now.
That's
Where
why.
is Vianney? Vianney is not here. She's usually in class.
Yeah. Today
And
is
Zahra, Fatima, last session we didn't have class because of some problems. All of us were here. Vianney,
Come on, and then she was
Zahra,
not
and
here.
yeah, Eileen, and yeah. But
And then
today
you had a
people were
party?
absent.
Did you have a party then without a teacher?
Actually, no, we were just nagging.
And nobody was recording, yeah?
No, in the group, in the WhatsApp group, we were nagging, and Zahra said
Oh.
it's the first time I'm in class on time, and Daniel said it's Murphy's rule.
Okay, let me ask you a question about the conversation. Maybe you or I'm not sure if your name is Eileen or Aileen. Can you tell me what's the
Eileen.
Eileen? Okay.
Yeah, Eileen. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question for those conversation activities. I notice in some emails that some of them should be for adults and some of them should be for
No.
children, business.
Fatima, that's lesson plan. For lesson plans, some of them are business, some of them are for children, blah, blah, blah. But
Oh,
for
okay, not for
conversation activity, it's up to you. Usually it's for adults for conversation activity. For
Oh.
lesson plan. Yeah. Yours, I think
No,
I think
your conversation activity, you can do anything you like, but usually they focus on adults.
Because my experience mostly
Aida,
for children.
I know.
So
I know Fatima's question was that because my instructor, the male was about conversation activity. Every session have two business, two adult, two academic,
Really?
two children, and I have to make 8 different kind of conversation activities.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, Fatima, I didn't know that.
Because
So
you know, I was reading one of the emails. I noticed that four general, two children, something like that. Not all of them same. That's why, because I did most of it, and now I have to change it. I'm not sure.
yeah, so
Alice.
that's why I struggling with Ada. Ada was I was I told you before.
Yeah, yeah. But I thought it
I
was your
haven't.
lesson plan, not your
Yeah,
conversation activity.
yeah. So for my four lesson plans, they gave me the title. Have to make four different for
Okay.
business
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
lesson and lesson plan for children lesson
Children
plan.
and business. Okay.
Everything is a full different
Um,
session.
Alice,
Yeah.
are you in
it's good that
advanced
they
or
answer you.
foundation?
No one gave me any reaction.
Yes.
I just sent it last week, maybe 10 days ago, and no reaction.
But
Oh,
I asked, oh, Vianney asked teacher, um, so is this for balance or for all never separated? Have to everything to have. But I remember the Merham teacher. She answered for the conversation activities. No balance, no balance. But for me, I have gotten the email to actually had whole session. Each one is two.
Okay. I got
Yeah, so
So I think
different.
Fatima,
Still,
yours is like Eileen's because we are.
because you know, this is exactly the sentence in one of the emails that I have found today. Assignments include 8 conversation. Actually, this is for foundation because for us it's 12. Assignments include 8 conversation activities for adults, 2 for children, and 2 for business language learners.
right. Yep,
Oh.
as
So I'm sorry,
ours.
I didn't know that because for me it
So
was
yeah, maybe
different.
because you were
Yours
in
is like
foundation.
Eileen. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it's just lesson plans that should be, in 2 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
you have
I
to change
I have
some
to
of
change
them. Oh my
everything
God.
now.
Yeah.
How many did you design?
I think around 8, and now here said 8 conversation should be for adults. I did 8 for
That's good.
children because my experience is with children.
Oh my God.
So I just recently started working with adults. So, but all the previous years I was dealing with
Yeah.
children. So I prefer
Really?
writing for children.
You
So
work in Dubai, right?
yeah,
Teach English in
yes.
teach English to students.
Yeah, to students. Actually, I was
Oh.
working at school for 8 years, but this year I'm off, just tuition classes and no more school.
So why do you need a TESOL? You have the
I just
experience.
because the TESOL is something like international, so and
Mm.
I'm not I'm a lifelong learner. I'm always attending classes, learning. It's non-stop.
Nice. And do you
Yeah,
have classes in person or it's online?
both of them actually.
Oh. And is
Yeah.
it a school or private institute?
No, I'm just working like a tuition. No, I'm not working with any institute or school this year. After 8 years, I quit, and then now I'm just working for myself, not with any
Nice.
institution or school.
Good, good. Because
Yeah.
I used to work, with
Mhm.
children, but after I think 8 years, I changed it to adult field, and I really enjoyed that because in kids
Really?
class, I just had to manage to keep them quiet,
Yes.
but in adults class, I loved it because they
Yeah.
wanted to come to class, and I really enjoyed that.
Okay. This is one of the advantage of not working in an institute as school, because every time you have just one child or a maximum children, so it's easier. At least you don't need to manage the class in
Yeah,
that meeting. You just teach
sure.
and go. But in class I used to have like 20 students, 25 students. It's not easy. They're children, and children are
Yeah,
all the same regardless of the nationality.
yeah, yeah. Good, good. But yeah, so designing a class for children is easy for you because you have the experience.
Yeah, and I had lots of lesson plans, I could get idea from them. But for adults, okay, maybe I have to continue with adults. But
You
to
know,
business is my problem. Eileen, did you do for business?
actually, I struggled with business and the children. The two set to the teaching conversation activity. For business, I researched about Google and
I have to do
yeah,
the same.
and Daniel, yeah, Daniel emailed me before. I just I just learned about that how to organize the listening the conversation activities.
For
That is
business.
which is a very
So
good
maybe
activity.
better I ask
Organize.
you to resend it to me because I don't have any idea about the
Oh,
business
you
one.
you should. I will give you
Thank you so much. I'll send you my email
Daniel's.
address in WhatsApp.
Yeah, right. And Ada, do you know today's topic, today's class about research presentation?
You know,
Mm.
I think Anna Patricia changed it because of last session, because she couldn't come to class. She changed it. Yeah. There we have the calendar, remember? They send
But
us.
last time
Today's was
it was
research
no
presentation analyst.
last time she should teaching common grammar errors.
Yeah. It was last session, and today's session was research presentation analyst. So
Yeah.
I think she just yeah, she
It
didn't.
wasn't that.
Yeah, in the calendar. Do you have it, Fatima?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, but even it was not about research,
Research.
presentation, and analysis.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Today,
was about business English.
Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes it happens, and sometimes the instructors don't follow, the.
Mhm.
In
But
calendar,
Are we
it's
being recorded or
I don't
yeah,
know.
it's still recording. Yeah, I don't know. We cannot stop it, I think.
I think she cannot. I think she is
Yeah,
not
we
coming
can't
back.
do anything.
What can we do? Nag. I love nagging right now.
Let me see if we can do something. I don't think so.
I think the only thing we can do is just waiting or leaving.
This session that we're having, it was supposed to be on 8th of Feb. Check it. It's TBE, Teaching Business English with Anna. 8th of February.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, this one is that.
And after that, we have common grammar
Yes.
mistakes and the other one. Guys, Zahra said something in the group to Daniel. No,
This
that's
is
something else.
Saida.
First question is, yeah, Zahra or Saide. She has two names.
Saida.
Yeah, she's asking about final research. And guys, we have more time. Fatima, it's good for you and also for us. We have, they have extended our due date, but the final research time hasn't changed. It's on March 20.
25th and 26th. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't changed that. But for the research paper, we have, I think the due date is 24th of March.
So, where are you exactly now? Are you doing the lesson plans these days? Because I am behind, I know that.
I almost finished my lesson plans and I will send it today. After lesson plans, for me, I have to start my final paper. But for you guys, you have also a MOOC project.
Come on, even me.
Yeah. MOOC project, you have to design a class, an online class. No, it's nothing for you because MOOC is like an online class.
No, let me stop this one. Maybe the sound is from my WhatsApp. Is the MOOC project for diploma or even for advanced?
I think for both. I'm not sure.
Yes,
Okay.
Eileen, is
Yes,
it?
I mean, I think it's for both.
Oh
Both.
my
Yeah.
God, my God, my God, you know.
I told you about
Yes, but I
subject.
hope we, you know, not some of us, some of them not for me, you know, because
Yeah.
now it's 11 something p.m. here, okay? And I was working from morning, and again tomorrow morning I have to go to work, and I'm just searching for a little bit time between my work to do these things. So, you know, concentration is not easy to sit and design something. Okay, assignment I can do that because I did lots of research, so it's I can do that. But designing something, it's different.
You need
You have to
time.
plan for that.
Did they email you again after your questions or no?
No, then I didn't contact them anymore. I just sent email to Daniel, and then you were the most helpful one, you know, more than anyone else.
I wish you had come, to Daniel's class last session.
It
If you
was
can
about the
come,
project, yes.
yeah, because that was about MOOC project.
Okay,
And
this is the
Vianney,
only video. This is the only video that they did not upload yet. I was waiting for that to watch.
maybe the video doesn't work for you. It's not bad
Really?
if you come to class and ask him directly. Because I
Ye-
remember Vianney asked her a lot of questions about her project.
And either there is a problem that because you know when you go and involve with something, then the questions rises. You know, I still did not start it. This is the
Yeah,
problem.
maybe,
When I
maybe,
start, then lots of questions will come.
exactly,
When I don't
maybe.
start, I don't know what to ask about.
Yeah. Have you seen four subjects for our final research paper?
No.
It's in Canvas. Anna Patricia asked you, we have to choose between those four subjects. They gave us four subjects. So you
Oh.
just pick one and you are supposed to write an essay, 8 to 10 pages about that essay. But Daniel said that if you want to write about something you like, not those four subjects, you can email TESOL and tell them you want to write
Mhm.
about something else and tell them about your, subject. And if
Oh,
they agree, you
that's a
can
good
read it.
idea. And
Yeah,
thank you
yeah,
for sharing with me because you know I did some researches before. Maybe those fields are easier for me. I
yeah,
didn't still I
definitely.
didn't look up. I didn't
Because,
still
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
didn't know what are
I
those
didn't
for.
know that Vianney told Daniel if she can change the subject, and Daniel said it's
Mhm.
okay. And Vianney changed it, and she wrote it, and she finished it. She has finished everything. Yes, Eileen.
So
Yeah,
fast.
she's very fast. I cannot believe that she has done everything, but MOOC project. She has done
Okay.
everything.
If we cannot reach these deadlines, so we have to wait for the next batch to go with them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So you have to wait for 3 or more months.
three months, you mean?
Yeah, that's the problem. So it's better to, plenty of time
Yeah,
before
it's
we.
better, but if I can. But you know, I was thinking, you know, either because it's our new year and I might have a trip to Iran, and then on that time of the final exam, you know, I have to cancel my trip because maybe
Oh
in
my
Iran I
God.
do not have any access to good internet. You know,
Yeah.
it's just killing me this
Oh my
idea.
God. Oh
So
my
I
God.
was thinking maybe better I don't put myself under pressure and I just wait for the
Maybe,
next batch,
maybe. Yeah.
especially
But
because I am
before
behind.
doing that, I think just email them and ask them, explain your situation and ask them if you can have, for example, 1 more month. Because, if you wait for next students to come, you know, 4 months from now.
Yeah, I will try to catch the deadlines. I usually, you know, I am always more active at the last moments.
So,
It is proved in my life. Okay, I
so it's
can
okay.
manage it, but I will be under pressure, lots of pressure. You
No,
know, because if
definitely.
you want to go to Iran after like
Yeah.
this
Good for you.
year,
I've
you
missed
know,
I've missed Iran. I wish I could go.
you know, I am close, but even us, we're not going that much because you know
Yeah.
we are busy. Everybody's busy
Especially,
this.
in our new year. I love to go
Yeah.
there. It's
That's
the
the
first
special
year.
way.
What date? What date is a new year for Iran?
I think
March.
21st of March, 21st, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it's 21st.
Oh, so this is different is us. Our
Yeah, it's
country.
yeah,
It's
it's
different
really
from every
it's
other
Iranian
nation.
New Year, actually. This is Iranian New
Yeah.
Year. It's usually in March. And imagine, Eileen, now I want to arrange for my trip. I want to arrange for my job and my students. I have to arrange for these lots of assignments, you know.
Yourself. You are not supposed to manage everything. Aren't you working for yourself? So tell your students that you're busy and you're going and just cancel your classes. Come on.
I think, you know, there is something here that it's recording, but no problem. Let's chat. You know, lots of because of I'm not sure if you are aware about the situation of Iranians here in UAE, because there were some problems with the sanction that they didn't give visa or something like that. And then from last year, they opened some business visas, and lots of Iranians are here now. Mm, Almost all of them cannot communicate in English. Their children are here to go to school and they have problem. So, you know, canceling their classes like in 1 or 2 weeks, it's a lot for them, you know. It's not the normal situation.
So cancel your
Almost,
trip.
yeah, that's why. That's why.
Do you always go there? Do you always go to Iran for the New Year?
Yeah, for New Year, we are trying to go because, you know, our children need to know the traditions and spend
You
time
have
with the family.
children.
Yeah, I have a son.
A son. How old?
11.
11. Nice.
Yes.
I have two daughters. Eileen has a daughter and has a son.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. So we
We are
are
all
all
mothers.
busy with the family too.
Yeah. Eileen's
So
son is younger. How old is he, Eileen? 8?
8. My
Yeah,
son.
yeah, yeah. I'm the grandmother here. My daughters are, much
You
oh,
are
older than
so,
yours.
yeah, ours almost adults.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, both of them are adults now. Whenever I go somewhere, I used to work in Safir. You know Safir, Zahra?
Yeah, yes.
I was there and I was always joking that I'm your grandmother because all these teachers were at my daughter's age and I was, the old one.
But that's good. Now you're free, you know, you're not like me. Now you're free.
Maybe. Actually, you're never free because I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
still,
The people,
have a
one of my friends always tell me, the Ida, are you there? Ah, okay.
yeah.
It was freezing for a second. One of my friends telling me, don't wish them to grow up, because when they grow up, their problems also grow up. So uh, when they're a child, so it's easier to manage. They will follow you. They will listen to you. You can control them.
Exactly.
But when they grow up, no, you cannot do that, and the problems will be bigger. So
She's exactly correct. Yeah, yeah, you're never
Yes.
free. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But
girls, what should we do? Should we
I
leave
think
we
or
we
stay here?
almost done. Almost
yeah,
3:30.
I guess
We
I
will be
guess we can
finished.
say goodbye.
Is it
Yeah, I
morning
think
there? Is it morning?
In
afternoon.
Oh,
Toronto, it's
Afternoon.
afternoon.
2:22, two
Oh,
after.
oh, it's afternoon there. Okay. I
Eileen,
thought it's
what time is
morning.
it over there? Eileen?
Eileen
Me?
is not in
Yeah.
Canada, yeah?
Different
Yes,
one
she's in Canada.
1 hour.
What time
Here
is it
is
now?
3:22.
Ah, 3.
So, oh,
She,
you're
she's
in different cities.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
in Toronto. Eileen is in
I'm in Moncton and New Brunswick.
New
Different.
Brunswick.
I'm west. I am
Oh,
east. The Ida was in the middle
Yeah.
of Canada.
Yeah. And
oh, okay.
Vianney is in Vancouver. So all three of
Yes.
us in separate, parts. And
Different
you're in
parts.
Dubai
What
and
time
Zahra
Fatima?
is in Dubai.
Fatima.
It's almost midnight here.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
11:30. It's
Oh,
11:30.
yes.
I know it might be hard for you, but try to come to class on Saturday with Elham's class.
I will try. I will try.
Yeah, she's also a big help.
Okay, I will
Yes.
try to come. Is the next week?
The
I'm
last.
not, no, no. I don't think next week is the last week. Yeah, because lots of subjects are still remaining.
No, I think we have 5 more classes.
5 more classes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Today,
try to attend.
Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, and next Saturday. 2, 4,
And
or
next
5 classes. Yeah. Almost
Okay.
almost finished. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Okay.
they
So
are very,
better
Yeah.
I leave because it's so late, really, and I have
yeah.
to go to
Yeah,
I
work
think we
today,
all
tomorrow
should
morning.
leave because it has been 20 minutes after she left. Okay, guys, it was good chatting with you.
Yeah.
It was also nice for me.
Good
Thank
luck.
you so
Good
much.
luck with your lesson plans. Eileen, good luck
Yes.
with your
Yes.
conversation activity, Fatima.
Yeah,
See you on
I have to
Saturday.
sit now, and maybe I can do one of them now at least before I go to bed.
Exactly. Do it.
Oh,
Okay.
Harry.
Don't worry.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
everyone.
Bye
See you
bye.
later.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care.
Bye. Bye bye.